coffee poofing into existence once again. Today we're playing some more Radiant Tale. We're gonna check out one of the other routes, just a little bit of it. I think we'll do Zafora's for the next one. We'll see what his one is like. I'm curious, especially with his type of personality. What I want to tell you. What? Speak up, let it out, man. I want to know what you're thinking. Let me know. Zafora, Chapter 1, Route 1. Hey! Let's get into it. Located in the northwest, far away from the royal capital, there was a city founded by Libra, the great spirit of wind. It was Cultura, the labyrinth city. This city of harmony, caressed by the wind, was governed by a leader known as the Labyrinth Sentinel. I'd been living in the Sentinel's mansion for quite some time. Several months had passed since I left the capital, and I'd grown accustomed to life in Cultura. It all started one fateful day. Oh, we're getting the flashback moments again. Cute. I'm excited to see. Before, I was just an ordinary girl living my ordinary life with my family members, until a mysterious group called Circus came to town. A boy who claimed to be a dragon. A flamboyant noble who was famous in town. An unusual magician. A former officer with a frightening air. Last but not least, a suspicious person who called himself an informant. My first impression of the informant, Zafora, was... well, it was just terrible. Honest. Hey, you, what in the world was that? A loose-tongued chatterbox, are we? Your mouth seems to slip up quite often. Have you oiled it or something? Yeah, he can be nasty. Maybe it'd be better if you were like this forever, right? We left in peace. Yeah, he said some brutal stuff. I don't know what was wrong with this guy, to be honest. But just how extreme he goes in the opposite direction is just funny. I just find it comedic. He lashed out words and kept everyone at arm's length, so I wasn't too confident about working with him. I can't even count all the times he berated me. But then, when we visited Cultura, we finally found out more about him and his purpose in joining us. The more I learned about his beliefs and his unique brand of kindness, that's one way to call it, the more I warmed up to him. After he finished performing in the Major 5, the time finally came for him to make his wish come true. At least that was what we believed. Zafora appealed to the king about the wretched condition of Cultura. Knowing he would be ousted from his role as sentinel, Balto resisted by roping innocent citizens into his machinations. Yeah, that guy was crazy. He was psycho. Circus, with Prince Cavolos joining, cooperated with Zafora to save Cultura. We used a race, a magic tool that had rid Balto of his power. Zafora took up the mantle, all while trying his best to reassure Cultura's people. He led them to a better future, shining bright as a star. Meanwhile, I had no magic or particularly useful skills. I began to feel stressed, knowing there was nothing I could do to help Cultura, or more specifically, Zafora himself. Aw, he just wants to help. That's cute. I even began to wonder if there was anything an ordinary person like me could do. It's been so long since I felt that way, though. Zafora showed me how I could help. I knew you'd cheer me up by saying that. Right, I'm not alone. If nothing else, I provided Zafora a shoulder to lean on. I was more than content just being with him. Aww. And finally... look at them shooting a gun together. How romantic. We succeeded in taking Cultura back from Balto. With the erased bullets that Colovis had made, we shot that fraud of a sentinel. Balto vanished into thin air. After that, Zafora simply stared at the spot where his uncle had just stood. I had no idea what he was thinking at the time. At long last, Zafora's problems had been solved. He then brought me to a meadow that held fond memories for him. Between the mystic flowers and glittering stars, I would never forget the spectacular view. We shared a soft kiss under the starry sky, and in that moment I was overcome by the powerful desire to be with him. to support him. However, reality wasn't that kind. A year passed without a single I love you, Zafora. This sounds about right. Yup, sounds like him alright. He didn't even contact me. I began to feel depressed, wondering if my feelings are one-sided. It was then that he visited Earthier for the succession ceremony, and he asked me to join him in Cultura. I just want you to come to Cultura and stay by my side, that's all. Yep, I'll keep an eye on you to make sure you don't overwork yourself. Did he say I love you in the end, though? Like, do we know? Back then, I genuinely thought I'd only be helping with cleaning and cooking at the mansion. Good morning, Miss Tifalia. After having finished getting ready, I was headed toward the lobby of the mansion. Everyone was already gathered as though they had been waiting for me. I'd like to confirm Lord Zafora's schedule for today. A young man born into the Sentinel line in Cultura, with the help of Circus, he successfully took back his hometown from Balto's clutches. Currently investing his time and effort into developing the city as the new Sentinel. Morning, here I've summarized his schedule on this document. Note that the location for the meeting at 3 o'clock has changed. Understood, thank you for letting me know. I have to make a dinner reservation in Oriens today. Lord Zafora's schedule is already so packed I don't know what day is best. I've adjusted his agenda and picked some possible dates for you. Can you contact the other party for me to confirm? Yes, ma'am. Miss Tifalia Craftsman is coming to talk with Lord Zafora. Please show them to the reception room. Zafora will be there in 15 minutes. Got it. I'll do just that. She's become his manager. Zafora's subordinates all dispersed to their respective jobs as I finished answering their questions. It's still early and things are already so hectic. Another day in the life of being a go-between for Zafora and his staff. As for how it came to this, it all started when I first arrived in Cultura. I hadn't even unpacked all of my luggage yet. When I was leaving my room to take a break, I happened to stumble upon Zafora chatting with one of his subordinates. Are they talking about work? I was about to turn on my heel since I didn't want to interrupt. Don't worry about the rest. Zafora's reply was curt. Oh, what? His poor subordinate still had more to say, but the man had already left. Huh. Do you mind if I ask what happened? Aren't you Lord Zafora's? Sorry, I didn't mean to eavesdrop. Is everything alright? No, and it's all my fault. I'm seriously useless. According to him, he had struggled with a task entrusted to him. He approached Zafora for help, but got more than he bargained for. Lord Zafora took over my job just like that. Instead of helping him, I increased his workload. I wish I could snap my fingers and be a better employee. Oh, He probably thinks it'll be faster if he just does it himself. Can't say I don't understand his feelings, but still. It's such a bad habit, he really can't be bothered to explain things. If you don't mind, do you want to go talk to Zafora again? I know you just want to be useful to him, so I'll help you convey that. Seriously, thank you so much. I see how she became manager. The rest is history. As it turned out, that subordinate wasn't the only one having trouble with work. Before I knew it, I became a liaison between Zafora and his subordinates. Rather than that, I'm more like his secretary. I heard someone more experienced than me took on this role once and quit for some reason or another. Shortly after I arrived at the mansion. Never would have thought it'd all turn out this way. I was feeling pretty inadequate until I took on this job. I wasn't the type of person who liked to sit around, but there was nothing I could do at the start. Hence, it felt nice to be relied upon by Zafora and so many others. It inspired me to keep working hard. And so this was how I spent my busy yet fulfilling days in Cultura. Ordinary girl who used to work at Libra in the capital. With Zafora's offer, she now lives at the Labyrinth Sentinel's mansion. I was now comfortable in my role as the Labyrinth Sentinel's assistant. Today, Zafora and I were strolling around the city together. I still thought the weather is nice. It's been raining all these past few days. Agreed, looking at the sky, I figured it will be sunny for a while. The two of us weren't on a date. We were simply doing our regular inspections throughout the city. Oh my, on an inspection tour, Mr. Sentinel. Have some of my bread. It's all fresh. Free bread! Hold on. This sounds like a great job. Forget everything else. There's bread. Sure, I'll have some, and thanks for all the help. Please have some too, Tifalia. Thank you. It smells amazing. I immediately stuffed myself with bread since they told me to eat it while it was still hot. The soft sweetness of the raisins mixed in the dough melted in my mouth. Your bread is as delicious as ever. Thank you, that's music to my ears. The dough tastes better than before. Did you change your wheat? Yes, I'm trying one from outside the city. Thanks to you, importing is so much easier. Balto strictly managed trade between Cultura and other cities during his time as Sentinel. As soon as Zafora took over, he set up new distribution channels. Now everyone could freely diverge from those more traditional methods and recipes if they so chose. Freedom! I've been waiting for you, Mr. Sentinel. Look at my son's first piece. He's a bulky fella, but he's got a feather-like touch. Father, the Sentinel is busy with his inspections. Seeing what's going on in the city is part of the job. Don't worry about it. Alright. The craftsman handed him a lampshade with intricate decorations. Covering that is fitted over a light bulb. The ones made in Cultura are well known for their delicate and exquisite texture. Some even come with features to adjust the light's color and intensity. Wow, so pretty! The open work is wonderful. It looks like you've inherited great technique. Thank you, sir. The anxious-looking craftsman brightened when Zafora complimented his work. We returned it to him and went on our way. Right then, a boy rushed out of a nearby home. Hey, Mr. Sentinel, my sister was born a week ago. She's super cute. Great info to have. Follow me, come see. Okay, let's go. Zafora had a gentle look on his face as the boy tugged his hand. Smiling, I followed after them. Every time we made our rounds, loads of people approached Zafora. It made sense considering how much he had done in such a short time. Not to mention his overflowing love for the city and the city's love for him. The sight of him holding hands with that boy said it all. The people of the Cultura are living happy, peaceful lives. It makes me feel like being ignored for a year wasn't that bad. These people truly needed his attention. That's still sad, though. Not a year. So I wish he'd have contacted me earlier. I could have helped with the reforms. True, she could have. I kept this thought to myself, knowing I was bound to cause a fight. It wasn't like we could turn back time anyway. Besides, I'm a citizen of Cultura now. I've got to work harder so everyone can enjoy peace and tranquility for good. Things will only get better from here. The sun was setting when we finished our walk around the city. I'd like to stop somewhere before we go home. Do you mind? Handing over the goods? Yep, I'll be quick so you can wait for me. We made our way to a little shop in the alley. The goods. Oh, hello, Mrs. and Mr. Sentinel 2. Just when I was about to enter the store, a little girl popped out. Doing an inspection again today. Yeah, we're on our way home, but I wanted to give you the first. I opened my bag, eyes still fixed on the girl. What I pulled out was a popular board game called Exciting Escoltia. It's a fun game where you travel around the world. The one with the most money and happiness points by the end wins. I got the game during our tour and played it with Circus. I put it in my luggage and I probably won't have time to play it anytime soon. Letting it sit around collecting dust will be such a waste, so I figured I'd give it to this child. Didn't you say you wanted to go to other cities? With this you can. I think you'll like it. Can I really have it? Absolutely. You'll learn all about the world when you play. Thank you. I'll ask the others to play too. Beaming, the little girl took the box from me and hugged it tight. Alright, I wanted to say thanks for another thing too. The fair at the plaza the other day was so much fun. My mom told me you were the one who organized it. Thanks a bunch. Hey, you're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. We've been working on something even more exciting, so look forward to it, okay? Okay, I can't wait. The little girl hopped up and down with Lee, and the chloris floating beside her blossomed. Our efforts sure paid off. The girl walked back into the store, waving her hands. Even Zafora's lips curled into a smile as he watched her go. Once we saw her off, we took our time walking back home. Made me so happy to bring a smile to someone's face. Same here. Alright, guess we've got to keep working hard. Now that you mention it, how's the event preparation going? Everything alright? Yep, all's good. I have a meeting with Jinia this week. Okay, come to me if you have any hiccups. Sure, thank you. Neither me nor the people in this city know much about entertainment. You saved us. Oh, his honest praise caught me off guard. It's nothing. I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm just happy you rely on me so much. This was a city of artisans, so most children help their parents from a very young age. They barely had a chance to learn about other cultures because Cultura was so far removed from the rest of the world. Zafora had implemented a lot of reforms to improve the city overall. Problem was, entertainment had long since been an afterthought. Cultura also had fewer toy stores than other cities. The only recreational hub here was a casino built for a handful of wealthy citizens. For that reason, Zafora took up the task of creating a new business to be enjoyed by adults and children alike. The first time I heard about it, I blurted out all kinds of ideas. He wound up putting me in charge of it. I'll give it everything I've got. Yeah, looking forward to it. I clenched my fist enthusiastically, earning a chuckle from the silver-haired man. Just don't push yourself too hard. We'll be done for if the person in charge collapses. Same goes for you too. And in that case, we should keep an eye on each other. How do you mean? Remember what you said a while back? I'll keep an eye on you to make sure you don't overwork yourself. So I'll do the same, keeping an eye on you from morning until night to make sure you're not pushing yourself too hard. He's gonna keep an eye on me? Hey, you just made a typo. Oh, oops. Isn't it better to use this formula than that one? Yeah. There's a mistake in this document. Hurry up and fix it, okay? This is what she imagines. I'm trying to picture a sweet and sappy boss-employee relationship. Why is everything so painful instead? Well, it's not like I can do it with how busy I am. Be sure to take care of yourself. I will. You better do the same or else. We shared a laugh. In the past, this was something I couldn't even dare to imagine. I was more than pleased to be able to relax with him in our downtime. Still, there's so much to do. My plate was sadly as full as his. And as his assistant, there were some things I needed to discuss with him. By the way, Zafora, I heard you told someone from the engineering department not to come into work starting tomorrow. My tone grew sharp and he swallowed hard. I did say that. He admitted to it. For what reason? Because you'll be transferred to a new department. As I recall, I told him to take a breather since he's been working so hard. No, you didn't. He didn't get the message. He thought you got fired, you know. He went and got drunk at Cheers to mourn. I'm just glad Leanne reached out to me when he noticed something weird about the guy's story. He was also a seriously talented person over some dumb misunderstanding. I glared daggers at him, he awkwardly looked away. My bad. That's right, you better clear things up with him later. You really aren't good with words. And one more thing. There's more? This one's not a lecture, just a question. You know I'm practically managing your schedule right now, don't you? Except I'm still an amateur. I've never done a job like this. I'm wondering if we should hire a real secretary. As the Sentinel, you are directly responsible for Kultura's future. It'd be better and more efficient to have a seasoned secretary of your own. Right as I finished, he ventured a question of his own. Are you struggling with work? Let me know if you need anything. I'll do whatever I can. Huh? No, not particularly. If I don't understand something, I can ask other people as well, not just you. Everyone is so nice and easy to work with. It's been great, really. There's so much I can do and people rely on me. So you're fine with the way things are? Yes, but then hiring someone new would just be a waste of time and effort. If you want to quit, though, I'll think of something. You've got it all wrong. I didn't say I wanted to quit. In that case, just keep doing what you do. I'm satisfied with your work. But for real? I'm not the type to keep incapable people around. Zafora's right. His staff was made up of only talented people. He'd chosen each and every one of them himself. We can hire an assistant for you if you need some help. No, there's no need. I'm fine. We're all good then. Don't let things get to you. Just focus on your duties. If you say so, I'll do my best. Thanks. I'm counting on you. Ah, that one line whisked all my worries away. He could be tough to read, but it made me happy knowing he needed me. I have to hit the buttons and see what else I can do. It's as simple as that. Boosted by what he said, I doubled down on my motivation. Right at that moment. Eek! Well, you alright? A man had stormed out of a nearby alley. He bumped right into me, throwing me off balance. But Zafora caught me before I could fall. Yeah, I'm okay, thanks. Hey, you can't just run out like that. It's dangerous. Zafora made sure I was alright, then snapped at the man with glares. The guy didn't say a word. He glanced my way and then ran off. Is he in a rush? There are more people walking the streets of Kultura these days. I figured someone bumping into me was proof that the city was bustling again. As I thought so, I turned to Zafora. He watched the stranger go, a perplexed look on his face. What's wrong? Curious, I asked him. Nothing, never mind. The sun is setting. Let's go home before it gets dark. Suspicious. Tell me not to worry. He walked off at a brisk pace. Odd encounter aside, our inspection tour had been worth it. I left with the feeling that things in Kultura were picking back up. I had also gotten to see Zafora smile a lot. To my surprise, he complimented me. I returned to the mansion feeling satisfied, telling myself to work harder from now on. Dang, these two are busy. Like, I don't know if they get a break, honestly. By the time I wrapped up my work, it was late evening. Once I finished, I stopped by Zafora's room. Come in. Hello. The teacups I carried clinked against each other as I entered. Oh, is it that time already? He peeked up at me from his desk. It looked like he was still in the middle of something. He's always the first one to start work and the last one to finish. It's the only thing that never changes even now that I'm managing his schedule. If he didn't take breaks, he'd drown himself in work late into the night without resting. To prevent that, I brought him some tea. I hoped this would encourage him to take a breather. Just 3 more minutes. He swiftly ran his pen along the paper. Perfect, that's just enough time for me to brew the tea. They just know each other well. They're like, yup. Figured you want 2 more minutes. My turn to brew tea. I poured hot water into the last teapot. This brew was a fruit tea with a dash of raspberries grown by the earth spirits and some dried fruits from local villages. Black tea blended with dried fruits, herbs, and spices. Tea mixed with apple and cinnamon seems to be Zafora's favorite as of late. I'm glad we know his favorite. I mean, what would we do if we never knew? The tea leaves unfurled in the hot water and the pleasant aroma wafted through the room. Smells nice. The liquid took on a rich scarlet color. I let it steep for a few minutes while Zafora finished his work. No words were exchanged, and he didn't so much as glance up at me. But compared to being apart for an entire year, just being in the same space made me feel content. Alright, I'm done. Good work. Let me pour you some tea. He actually meant 3 minutes. I thought he was gonna be like 3 minutes. Actually, 3 more minutes. Thanks, it smells great. Did you use fruit? Yep, it tastes just as good as it smells. The sour note gives it a complex flavor. Yeah, it really does. Glad you like it. The two of us chatted about the day happenings over at tea. Spending this kind of quality time with him brought me so much joy. We talked about trivial things, the people we met on the streets, delicious food we ate. Alright, speaking of which, I just remembered something. I found this note in my pocket when we came back home from the inspection. What do you think it's about? What note? I fell in love with you at first sight. Would you like to have a tea with me? Zafora scowled when he finished reading it. I doubt a little kid snuck this in as a prank considering how it's worded. It wasn't there when we left home, right? Nope. Remember that man you bumped into today? If you think about it, he might have done it then. Oh, now that you mention it, I thought back to the man who'd rushed out of that alley and left without a word. What should I do with this? Just throw it away. It's probably some kind of a practical joke. I guess so. If he were asking me on a real date, he would have put down his name and contact info. And if it were me, I would write it more legibly and definitely not on scrap paper. In fact, that was exactly what I did. When I wrote letters to Zafora, I was really picky with the paper I used, and I made sure to write clearly and neatly. When we were away from each other, the days I spent waiting for him felt so frustrating. I had no clue whether he was pushing himself, if he was eating or sleeping enough. Desperate, I sent him letter after letter. In the end, I never received a single reply. Speaking of letters, I'd heard back from some of the members of Circus. The next event to be held at the plaza was Circus's reunion show. Ah, the gang's back together! I'd reached out to invite them to Cultura for an event. Pascalia said he can't make it. He's feeling unwell, so I don't want to force him. No, Pascalia, is he okay? Okay, I suppose we should go visit him sometime. Clovis likely won't make it either. I expressed how much he wishes he could, though. There's nothing we can do about it. He's a prince who just woke up from his slumber. How about the rest? Eon, Ratty, and Ginny said they can come. That's... all that's left is Vilio. Where in the world is that guy? I bet he's in some remote area where he can't even get letters. It'll be a problem if he can't make it. You want to ask him to take you to your parents' grave, right? Yeah, considering their burial site isn't easily accessible on foot. If he comes here, I can just use him as my transportation. Anyone who heard this would assume he treats his friends like a vehicle. But if I remember correctly, he ordered some delicious meat for the next event. Deep down, I knew it was meant for Vilio. It's not like Zafora is shy or cryptic in what he says. He was simply being himself. Vilio would know with just one look at the meat. Hey, can I tag along? I want to say hello to your parents. Sure, go ahead. I have a lot to fill them in on. Yeah, Betty has plenty of stories given everything that's happened. There's Cultura, Circus, and Balto to start. I guess I need to figure out how to introduce myself to his parents. No, let's see that he's thinking about it. We continued to talk and our quality time was up before I knew it. It's almost time to sleep, but there's just one thing I absolutely need to do. My nightly routine involved more than just having a tea break with Zafora. There was one more thing I had to do no matter what. You wouldn't get away from me tonight. I really am no match for you. I'd like to hear some affectionate words in return. I'll think about it. Remember this once you're there. I'm gonna use you as much as I please. Just what I was hoping for. Yes, it was time for him to make good on his promise. I waited until the tea was running low before I spoke up. By the way, where's my reward? You have one job left. I'll see which one's the right one. Okay, that is the right one. Look, I got all my tasks done today. Where's my reward? Up until now, I had tried asking in all kinds of different ways. He managed to dodge all of them, so I failed every time. But not today, there will be no escape. Herc. He choked on his tea, coughing violently. Then he blatantly averted his gaze. If this is about your salary, I give it to you once a month. Oh my gosh, I don't mean money. It's not something you can buy anyway. A riddle, huh? That's a tough one. I heaved a sigh knowing I'd failed to get him to do the thing yet again. Come on, girl, one final push. I know I've said it so many times already, but you do remember what we talked about before, right? I leaned in closer as he struggled to reply. I did say I wanted some affectionate words in return. He's been waiting like over a year for just some nice words. Dang. That's really sad. Except oddly enough, I haven't heard a single one since I came to Cloterra. She's held out. Yep, this little back and forth had become part of our nightly routine. I never doubted his love for me. For instance, that one time. When I returned to my room for a break, my favorite food ever, a big honey pancake, was sitting on my desk. Huh? Who brought this here? I was totally confused because I had no clue who'd put it there. Only when I flagged down a chef passing by did I find out the truth. Lord Zafora asked me to make that. I handpicked the ingredients myself. His response triggered a memory for me. Earlier that day, I had mumbled something about wanting to eat something sweet because I was tired. Zafora was near me then. Another time, without me realizing it, the flowers in my room had been replaced with new ones. The funny thing was, I was just thinking I should replace the flowers I got from the townsfolk since they had started to wilt. The new ones were lovely bright blue blooms. Not many people have access to my room to begin with. I happened to have some business at the flower shop that day, so I asked about the mysterious arrangement in my room. And that would be a blue star bouquet. Lord Zafora bought it this morning. A small flower with a lovely translucent blue color can also be pink or white. In flower language, it means blissful love and mutual trust. Oh, that's really cute. On yet another day, the days keep adding up. Zafora surprisingly finished his work earlier than usual. He took me to a popular high-class restaurant in Cloterra, but no matter how many times I asked why he brought us there, he merely said he wanted to eat there. It had me so perplexed, but I figured I should just relax and enjoy the food. I got to indulge in creative cuisine I never normally ate. The nighttime view from the restaurant windows was breathtakingly beautiful. I headed back to the mansion feeling satisfied. On Lord Zafora and Miss Tifalia. On the way home, we happened to bump into one of his subordinates. He said something unbelievable. Happy 1 month anniversary! Wait, they're having anniversaries, but he hasn't given her any affectionate words. Whoa, man, get it together. Come again? I've been so busy, I completely forgot a month had passed since I came to Cloterra. Surprised I asked Zafora, he insisted that it was mere coincidence until the very end. Honestly, Zafora did all kinds of things for me, but he literally never explains any of it. I never would have guessed the reasons behind these gestures had those people not told me. I couldn't help but think he might have done even more without me noticing, and none of it comes in the form of words. If you don't give me my affectionate words, I'll consider it a breach of contract, unpaid and unfair labor practice. Zafora listened until I ran out of steam, eyes fixed on me. I'm done with my tea. I'm gonna clean up. You should go back to your room. Alright, I'm gonna end off here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Happy cliffhangers. Bye bye!